It is a well-known secret that Sri Lanka is going through a tough time at present. But we as proud citizens of a proud nation have always managed to find a silver lining, a glimmer of hope among the darkest of clouds. Greetings to you wherever you are around the world. You are watching News First. And today it is my pleasure to have such a silver lining in the studio with me today. She is the first ever Sri Lankan to have obtained a fellowship at the prestigious London College of Music. I very warmly welcome the beautiful Nadine Samarasinghe Padmaraj. Thank you so much for
Thank you
coming,
for having
Nadine.
me.
My first question to you is, what is music in the eyes of Nadine Samarasinghe Padmaraj?
Right. Music is pretty much my whole life. I started playing the piano when I was 4, and for me, it's something that that I can really enjoy and relax. Even if there's an issue. When you get on stage, when you perform, you actually, you kind of transition to a different mode altogether. And I think that's music is something that everyone can enjoy, no matter which language you sing from, even if you don't understand the language. I feel that's something that it can capture anybody's emotion. You're happy, sad, angry, or in love, or whatever it is. So music is it's everything to me.
What is your inspiration to sing, or what was your inspiration to sing?
Well, as a kid, I used to always watch all these, stars on stage singing, and I always pictured myself, I would be like, oh wow, this is what I really like to do. This is where my passion lies. And growing up listening to singers like Whitney Houston, Michael Jackson, those are some of my favorite artists, and I would be in awe of them, to be like, what would it feel like for me to get on stage one day and sing? I remember like when I was small, they used to show like the Grammys on our local television, and I used to stay up all night watching it. And for me, those artists were a big inspiration when it came to singing, pop-wise. Then also, if I take the classical part of it, my mom was a music teacher. So I was exposed to music at a very young age. And I enjoy classics so much too. Like I know opera is it's a very niche market, and also it's not everybody can kind of really enjoy opera as well. But that's something I really enjoy too when watching all these Broadway musicals. So whenever I watched those, I had a real passion for it, and that kind of made it. I made that a motivation to kind of build myself up little by little.
Let's go back a little bit. You spoke about the exposure that you had with your mom being your music teacher, and you went to Holy Family Convent in Bambalapitiya. How did the school give you a grounding? How did the school groom you to become the singer that you are today?
Okay, so Holy Family is also a school that is very focused in the arts, which I was lucky. And we had a lot of choir activities, singing competitions in school, which I was super excited about, and I was that kind of person who would want to cut school and go for the choir practice in the evening, which was a big no from my mom.
Okay.
I would never miss. But also they gave a lot of backing when it came to when I was in school, and we had good choir teachers coming in and teaching us. Definitely learned a lot, especially in a choir. When you sing and when you sing alone, it's different. Choir is about coordinating with others, make sure you're listening to the other singer who is right next to you, and solo singing is different. So I got a good foundation when it came to singing in choirs and learning what that whole technique is about from school, I think.
Right. What happened after school? After you are done with an institution, it's kind of most of the responsibilities fall on your shoulders. And what was your approach after school? Where do you wanted to see yourself after school?
I always wanted to be a musician. Like
Okay.
even after school, everything for me was about music. So I mainly focused on things and did things what can get me there, performing wise, academic wise, all that. So it's a gradual process. I mean, you can't just wake up one day and be like, okay, I'm going to be this. There's a lot of hard work. There's a lot of, endless sacrifices that you have to do to kind of get there. You can't do it in a day. So, I mean, I studied piano, singing, violin, all that. But my main forte was always my singing.
You've performed here in Sri Lanka and as well as abroad on the international stage.
That's right,
as
yes.
well. Some time back in
Yeah.
Kazakhstan was your first international performance,
That's
if I'm
right, yeah,
correct.
yes.
Let's reminisce the memories.
Well, I was quite young then and super nervous. But it was amazing experience. I mean, and when you go out to the international, you really feel how, get to know what people are like, different kind of people. And I must say they were all amazing. And I was very young too. I think I probably would have been one of the youngest contestants there. And of course, in Kazakhstan, not many people spoke English, so it was mainly just smiling and kind of. But it was amazing exposure. I actually won the Viewers' Choice Award there, where the whole of there's a voting system in Kazakhstan to vote for your favorite international performer, which I won. I was quite thrilled about that because that meant that people actually liked what I was doing, and. It was amazing experience. I mean, so it was an open air stage once, and it's freezing.
Okay.
And I'm literally on stage like freezing because it's so cold. All that molds you, because as a performer you need to be able to perform no matter what the condition is.
Right.
Whether it's cold, whether you are sick.
You brought us to an important point. A performer has to perform no matter what the conditions are. And in that light, let me ask you, do you have any unforgettable moments while performing on stage? Something that you can't get rid of from your mind?
Actually, there was one fashion show that I was performing for in Sri Lanka. And something happened and I had an infection.
Okay.
I think there was some threading issue that went wrong, and then I had they damaged my nose.
Okay.
So I had to take a lot of antibiotics, and actually they were all intravenous antibiotics, and they were really, really strong. So I'm that kind of person, I'll never cancel on a performance or, no, unless I'm like collapsing. So this one time, I went on stage right after the injection and I was feeling completely, I couldn't even see the audience because it was all blurred because I was really strong, right? So I was in like high heels and singing, and at that time I could only just be like, oh God, just get me through this performance without falling on stage and, making a fool out of myself, because nobody's obviously going to understand what I'm going through at that point. That I don't think I'll ever forget.
How important is preparation to a singer?
Very important. For me, you have to do, vocalize. I'm not that kind of person. I think it depends on each person. Like for me, they say, oh, you got to drink only hot stuff, and it doesn't, unless I'm sick and I have like.
What is your usual method? Let's say 30 to 45 minutes before a show. What do you usually do?
So I do this bees, honey, and lime. It kind of cuts the phlegm off if you have any, and I do my vocalizing, my scales, and that's about it. And I leave everything else to God's hands. I don't have like a major preparation.
Okay.
For me, I have my issue is forgetting lyrics. I always tend to forget lyrics and then make my own lyrics after that. So my main preparation would be going through the lyrics of a song.
Okay.
That's a bit of an issue.
Any tips for young people who are starting up, and what are the things that you shouldn't do leading up to a show, in your opinion?
I mean, I personally think people shouldn't be overconfident before you get on stage. I've gone on stage so many times, but still up to now, I would get a little bit nervous getting up on stage because anything can happen.
Yeah.
Your voice can crack, you can go flat on your high notes because nobody's 100% perfect,
yeah.
right? Those are, and the voice is inside you, so many things can happen. So don't be overconfident, enjoy your performance. For me, you really need to feel the song that you're singing. Because that's how the audience is going to know whether you feel the song or not. You can sing all this, if you're singing a song, you can sing technically right. But if you're not going to feel that song, then there's no point. So to really, for young performers, to really understand the song that you're singing, and to kind of interpret that, because I feel sometimes people just they just come sing for the sake of singing it, and you don't really feel the song. So I don't see a point in that. And also just everyone is different, so some people might want to rest your voice without talking at all. It depends on each person. But do your scales. I think that's key.
That's key.
Yeah.
Right. Nadine, you've put in a lot of effort, and you are a performer, and you are an academic as well when it comes to music. And the pinnacle, I would say, in your success as an academic and as a musician is being the first ever Sri Lankan to obtain a fellowship from the prestigious London College of Music. When you heard the news that you are the first Sri Lankan to have this honor, what was the first thing that came to your mind?
That would be my dad, because he passed away about 6 years ago, and he and my mom did a lot, so that's for him. It's quite a a prestigious thing, and especially now. I mean, I obtained this in classical singing, so I think people should kind of, especially upcoming singers, should make use of it. To kind of, I would always like to partake my knowledge with them, and to kind of, I'm not that kind of person to hold back and keep it all for myself. So I think, as for Sri Lankan musicians, this would be a good opportunity to kind of learn. And I mean, there's so much more that I want to do.
You spoke about not holding back and giving you everything to the youngsters, and that's what you're doing right now with the Nadine Music Academy. It's been 6
That's right.
years
Yeah.
since you've established the academy. How is it like managing 85 kids?
I mean, it's for me. I love children, so there's a plus point. I mean, every child is different, so the approach is different with each kid. When I teach, I'm not going to use the same method I use on the other one just because I'm lazy to change. Because I understand the child. It's fun. I mean, especially during concert time, it's really fun with all the children. To do rehearsals, and they have loads of fun too. It's challenging too. I mean, because there are some kids who actually want to sit for exams, so then it's a little bit more serious work than having fun. I mean, my youngest is just only 2 years and 9 months.
9 months.
And I mean, I had a class last week and we had super fun, like, I mean, obviously I'm not going to expect a 2-year-old to have a concentration span of half an hour. It's not going to work. But we make it fun. I mean, I love it.
What is your method like? What do you start off with teaching a 2-year and 9-month-old child how to sing? What is your approach?
First is things like opening your mouth. Okay. How you open your mouth, how much you need to open your mouth, and then we do a little bit of that. Then we do a little bit of fun songs. Then we do a little bit of choreography with the song. So the child will enjoy the class. So it's like, first we start with fun things, and then little by little I start introducing techniques and things that will help them in the future.
You're a singer by profession, and you are running an academy with 85 kids, and you have your own little one, Josh, and you are into fitness. You hit the gym. You are a fellow at the London College of Music. Where do you find your me time?
That honestly is very minimum at this time, especially after my son was born. There's literally no me time. Because whenever I'm not, focusing on my work, I spend time with him because I think that's important for him to have. I don't want to regret later, I mean, I could just, be like, okay, I just want to relax or, watch a movie. I can't remember the last time I watched a movie. I just watch kids' programs, which I know by heart, some of them. So it's a lot of less me time right now, I think, till he gets a little bit older. But I don't regret it at all. It's tough, very little sleep, but we're getting through it for now.
The key is to enjoy it.
Enjoy it. I think if you enjoy whatever you're doing and it's not a pain for you, then you're okay. Even it's all about the mind, how you kind of take it. If you take something as a problem and be like, oh God, I don't want to do it, then it
It's
just
going to be
makes
a
it.
problem.
It's going to be a problem. But if you enjoy it and if you think no, this is a good thing, then I don't see why you can't do it.
You are the first Sri Lankan to obtain a fellowship at the London College of Music. What is your immediate next step? What would you do for Sri Lanka? We see many prestigious honors being bestowed upon many eminent personalities here in Sri Lanka, but sometimes that's the last we hear of that. But what is Nadine Samarasinghe Padmaraj's plan for Sri Lanka?
My plan is actually to be as a Sri Lankan who is doing opera singing to go international.
Right.
That's my next step. Because I know we're famous for cricket and even singing certain genres of singing, but never classical singing. To kind of be like, oh, you know what, there is somebody from Sri Lanka who can do that as well. So that's my plan.
Just before we wrap up, Nadine, what do you have to say to the kids who are watching this program? They might be the kids from your academy as well, young people, budding musicians who are struggling to get a place in this industry. What is your advice for them?
Work hard. I mean, there's going to be disappointment. I've been disappointed so many times. So many times I've cried because unfair things happen or something like that. But if you have a dream, if you have a goal in your life, work at it. And obviously obstacles are going to come your way, but doesn't mean you're going to give in to that. Because if you're going to give in to that, then you're just going to stop there.
Yeah.
In anybody's life, obstacles are going to come your way, no matter what. It could be anything, career-wise, family-wise, anything. But keep at it. Sometimes negative things will happen. You might not get, you might not win what you want to win, or you might not get the marks that you wanted, but keep trying, because every experience is an experience.
Thank you so much, Nadine, for taking your time and coming to talk to me today. It was an absolute pleasure.
Thank you for having me. It was great being here, really.
It was an absolute pleasure to have a chat with you, and we here at News First wish you all the very best with the prestigious achievement that you achieved sometime last year. And with that, folks, we wrap up today's interview, and as I always do, I'm going to leave you with a quote. Art in the blood is liable to take the strangest of forms. Have a good day.